Okay, welcome everybody. I am really honored to have all of you here today. And if you are watching the replay, I'm really happy that you got to do that too. I'm using a new platform here. I'm on a new teaching platform that I'm using for teaching my classes, and it's called Be Connected. So if anybody wants to know anything about that, I can stay afterwards and answer some questions if you'd like. The cool thing that I love about Be Connected is that all of these buttons on the left, you, the viewer, can click. So you should see up here at the top, it says Get Your Deck Today. Underneath that is Join the Be Connected for free. And then underneath that is the Acu Aroma Learning Circle that I'm running. So I'll be popping up other things throughout this time together. But the first thing, just because you showed up today, you get a gift right away that you can download. So I am going to pop that link up somewhere here when I can find it. And see where that is. Nope. I've got so many things in here. So, I know where it is. I know where it is. I know where I hit it. Okay. In the middle, at the bottom here, it says Get the Menopause Success Self-Care Calendar. If you click that, it will pop up a new window with the download. So it's a 30-day calendar with just one little thing that you can do each day that's super easy, that can help you start to get into this menopause journey. All right. Did anybody click that? Did it pop up? I think I see it reflected in your glasses, Laura. All right.
Yep, I
So
downloaded it. Thank you so much for that.
yeah, it's a really fun. I made that a couple years ago, and I still go back to it and share it. And I just thought, well, you all should just be able to have that as your little freebie tonight. So again, thank you for being here. I'm going to do some screen share here, and we're going to get into our presentation. I'll pop in and out of that screen share, and then at the end we'll have some time for some Q&A. If you've got essential oils tonight with you, or we're going to actually be doing active things with them. So I'll just give a quick list. Bergamot, Atlas cedarwood, ylang ylang, palmarosa, and black spruce. And I'll talk about some substitutes along the way too. But again, that's bergamot, Atlas cedarwood, ylang ylang, palmarosa, and black spruce. And I love it when I give this list at the beginning of a class and I see all these treasure troves of oils coming out. It just makes my heart sing. So good for all of you for having your trusty plant medicine close by. All right, I'm going to start my screen share. Okay, let's see. Go into presentation mode. By the way, I do so many of my presentations in a program called Canva. So if you haven't explored Canva, please do, because it is super awesome. So can everybody see this? You should be able to see Welcome Menopause Success Masterclass, right? Okay. If you can't, please unmute and say, where am I? We're lost. Okay. All right. So tonight, we're going to be just going through this process of understanding menopause. I'm going to put an interesting layer on it tonight because we are working with the energetic frequency, or the fragrance energetics of the essential oils. And that is so closely paired with our chakras and our endocrine system. So I'm going to weave this together um, in a very holistic way, but also sort of in an etherical way to explain to you about how the energetics resonate so well with our bodies and why essential oils make so much sense when we're working with exploring the journey of the wise woman. Women spend over 30% of their lives post menopause. 30%. That's a lot. Why does it have to be the uncomfortable years? Like, I just only want my teenage years that I've already gone through to be those uncomfortable years. These years during menopause and postmenopause, I want to be some of the best years of my life. So that's what I help women do. So we're just going to talk a little bit about that and how what it means to become a wise woman. This endocrine system, chakra system, energy system connection, some of the benefits of doing acuaromatherapy. You get 5 points and 5 oils to get you started tonight. Yeah, that's where the gold is. I've taken so many classes where you wait till the very end and then maybe they talk about a couple of things. And I'm going to stop my share because I think somebody's trying to get in. Um, but I've gone but you wait and wait and wait for people to start giving you the real juicy stuff. But we're gonna jump right in tonight with the real juicy stuff, okay? Oh, Alexandra, I'm so glad you're here. All right, for those of you who are just joining, make sure you pop into the middle button on the bottom to get your free Menopause Success self-care calendar as your reward for just showing up. All right, I'm gonna go back to the share. Okay. And then at the end, I'm going to give you some resources to continue this journey and a little VIP invitation of something really fun I'm doing in January. All right. Let's just get the downside out of the way so we can talk about the good stuff. So it's like, you want to hear the good news first or the bad news first? And I chose the bad news tonight. These are just a small list of things that are the downside of menopause. So if you can relate to any of these or all of these or one of these at one time during the process and another one at another time, you are not alone. I've been through all of this list. The brain fog, the irritability. Like, if you ask me that question one more time, right? Not to mention our loss of libido, skin issues, digestive issues, painful intercourse, loss of muscle, joint pain. Am I getting really too depressing for you all? We are less stress tolerant during this time of our lives too. And that's a whole nother course. But what somebody said to me the other day, I was listening to a podcast or something, and they said, our suck it up muscles get a little weaker at this time of our lives, and we just don't tolerate things very well. So put that on top of having hot flashes or night sweats, and really, you can get to be a hot mess really quick. So we're going to work on some of those things tonight. Not saying we're going to cure it all, but we're going to give you some guidance in that direction to what I say as reclaim your vibrancy. So the upside of menopause, which I really focus a lot on, is that this is a time in your life where you get the opportunity to learn more about yourself. Some of those parts you're like, I really didn't need to know that. I really didn't need to face that. And today I'm not talking about that. But you get the choice to make those decisions. But this also allows a time in our life to bring more grace and gratitude to the forefront, to be grateful for, oh my gosh, me inside this body has survived 50 plus years or 60 plus years or whatever it is. And gosh, that's a long time to learn a lot of lessons and have that wisdom now about, oh, that 20-year-old's going to regret doing that when she's 45, right? If we could write these letters to our future selves or our past selves, things would be different. We also get to decide what's not working and focus on solutions that serve our greater good. In the Menopause Success Mastery course that I offer, we go through a section about reclaiming the parts and pieces of yourself that you've lost over the decades of your life. The pieces that you've given away to having children or raising children or losing a partner or working on relationships or giving to your job or an organization that you're involved with. All of these pieces and parts of us that get lost or forgotten, and to the point where we get to menopause, we're like, who am I really? Like, I don't recognize myself in this body. I don't recognize my personality anymore. Like, who am I really? So we get to rediscover that through the creativity of this womb space, this pelvic bowl, this place of the sacral chakra where creativity comes from, that's not being used for any other purpose anymore, except to have our own internal, innate, intuitive, creative life come forward. So redirecting that purpose in life and aligning with who you truly are. Who do you want to be when you grow up? I see these older women who are so independent and so lively, and they've got social networks and they got it going on. And I always make it a point to say, my friend Nancy is a good example. Nancy, I want to be like you when I grow up. And she's 88, right? So we get a laugh out of that all the time. But I'm like, no, I'm serious. So connecting with that wise woman within and connecting with other wise women in your community to seek these more meaningful relationships and really letting go of what no longer serves you. And guess what? The essential oils can really help with that. So I want to talk a little bit about the endocrine system, our endocrine system, this is so important, and energetics. So I've made this really cool little chart here where we've got all of our chakras. We have our root chakra right there at the base of our spine, and then the sacral chakra, and going on up to the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And all of these chakras are these little energy centers in our body that rotate or spin at different levels at different times of the day for different reasons that our body needs to balance. When they're not in synchronization, usually something's gone wrong. Oddly enough, each one of these energy centers or chakras is associated with one of our endocrine system glands. So if you look, the root chakra, which is all about safety and uh, being nurtured and our fight and flight, guess what? Endocrine organ, the adrenals, our fight and flight organ that has to do with our cortisol and all of that. We go into the sacral chakra, which is this pelvic bowl, and we find all of our reproductive organs. Moving up to the solar plexus, this is pancreas, stomach, spleen, small intestine. All of that is how we digest our life, how we find our sweetness in life. It is our power center, and our digesting of our food is how we get our nutrients and how we get our energy, our power. The heart chakra, it has to do with the thymus gland, which is in part, it's about our immune system. Um, and also that heart chakra is about the cardiovascular system in general, but the thymus is part of that. And we move up to the throat chakra, which is the thyroid. And I find so much in my practice as women go through menopause and get into postmenopause, they start having issues with their thyroid. And once they realize that they do have a voice, they can speak their truth, then we're able to open that energy center and the body starts coming back into balance. And they no longer are hypothyroid, they're back into the regular rhythm. The thyroid regulates our metabolism, our sort of how our body regulates temperature, hot and cold, and some other metabolic processes as well. So it's a really important energy center and relationship with the endocrine system. We come up to the third eye chakra, which is the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus. I love third eye chakra work because we've got the hypothalamus, which when you inhale an essential oil and it goes through the limbic system, it goes to the hypothalamus and releases hormone receptors based on what the chemistry of the oil is immediately through that hypothalamus. Super interesting if you are want to geek out on it someday. I would love to. And then we have the crown chakra, which is our pineal gland, which sort of is the master of all these other glands. So it sort of sits at this crown jewel place as the top of the head. So I'm going to stop my sharing because I know I just dumped a whole lot of information on you all. So if you have any questions about the endocrine system or these energy centers, what really is happening here is that when we start using essential oils in the form of aromatherapy, then we start tapping into these energy centers through the meridians, the Chinese meridians in Chinese medicine, of the acupuncture points and how they circulate energy through the body. So we can directly affect these chakras and these endocrine organs to help balance hormones. And I've been teaching this for about 7 years now. And I am always fascinated with all of this and really love to talk about it. My husband gets so bored. He's like, "Oh, you're going to talk about hormones again?" So, um, anybody have any questions so far? If you're loving this, put some emojis or ones or numbers in the chat. Let me know. You can always put a question in the chat too if you don't want to unmute. Good, Laura. All right. Okay. I'm going to go back to sharing. Okay. All right. Here we go. And share. Okay. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with aromatherapy, it's often called aroma point therapy, aroma acutherapy. I can't think of, there's another one. Oh, aroma acupressure. It's often called too. So basically, those are all the same thing. We use essential oils properly diluted on specific acupuncture points all over the body. In my work, I use it to initiate hormonal changes in the body. But we're working with the fragrance energetics. So pretend like that acupuncture point or acupressure point is this little vortex. And when you touch an oil onto that point, the energy of that essential oil travels that vortex and goes down through that meridian to make a shift in the body, mind, spirit. To me, every time that happens, it is magic. And I still do one-on-one with clients every week. And we always start the session with some aromatherapy. And every single time, I am so amazed. I mean, I've seen it literally thousands of times, but I still am in awe. And I'm so grateful for that experience because it tells me I am doing the right thing. I am doing what my heart really wants to do in this life. And that's part of my menopause journey too, is like to do this work, I feel like I'm fulfilling a life purpose that I don't I wasn't ready to do before I went through menopause. I didn't fully grasp it. I didn't fully claim it. And so that's another, way that I want to let all of you know that to find that whatever that is that makes you so excited. There's a Japanese word for it. It's called ikigai, and it's a funny word, ikigai, and it means your reason for getting up in the morning. So I always encourage women to find their ikigai. All right. So this is all, connecting us to our own naturalness using this plant medicine and keeping us rooted in this traditional Chinese medicine, which is literally, thousands of years old. And guess what? It still works. We've just added a new layer. It's non invasive. It can be used as daily self care and self regulation. I talk a lot about self regulation, especially I teach a class called Your Emotional First Aid Kit, and we talk about self regulating. I think it's more talked about now in modern terms with all of the stressors and all of the things that are just happening so fast and so furious and so intensely in the world now. We need tools in our toolbox to be able to help self regulate. Now, for women going through their menopause journey, maybe that is just, I need a point that's going to stop me from being so agitated today, or I need a point that's going to help me not to have a hot flash every hour. That could be their own self regulation. There are no harmful side effects to this. I've used bergamot on Shen men when I've needed it the most, and that could be every hour, depending on the day, and have not had any terrible side effects from that. So it is something that's a modality that is safe and effective. And by the way, this is the fastest growing healing modality in the 21st century. So you are early adapters, you are the pioneers, you are the leaders out there by using this and creating these amazing results that you can share with others. So grab your oils. We are going to start with bergamot on the spirit gate, which is the ear shen men. So if you look at that diagram, you can see you just come up into that first top deep valley, the ear shen men. It's in that triangular depression there. And there was actually some biofeedback done with this oil. I use this oil it's a citrus. So let's talk about the energetics. I'm going to stop my share and I'm going to go through our oils and we're going to talk about the energetics because we're talking about energy frequencies. Okay. So this is all about when we do acuaromatherapy, it's about shifting the body into different states. Okay, my body's in this tight state or this tense state. I want to release it from that. Okay. So bergamot is a citrus. A citrus is a top note, right? All you aromatherapists out there. And the energy of top notes is to lift and disperse. So I want you to smell, if you have bergamot or any citrus with you, I want you to smell it and see if you can smell that lifting quality that it has. Can you feel that lift, clarify, disperse? If we had to describe that as a movement of this energy. Hmm, yeah. There's also a calming effect to it. So once it's lifted, once it lifts that extra energy off that's being held there, it can actually start to balance. And that's kind of one of bergamot's superpowers. Love it. Um, our next oil after that is going to be cedar wood, which is rooty, right? Atlas cedar wood is just a little sweeter than a regular cedar wood. So a rooty woody is not going to lift, but it's going to stabilize, center, and ground. So if you smell a woody right now, a woody or a rooty, see if you can feel that energy of holding space, holding you together, that centering and grounding. I kind of think of Atlas cedarwood as providing sort of some scaffolding to hold me up while I'm tending to myself, this beautiful scaffolding. Ylang ylang is another one we're going to work with. I tend to either use it between 10 and 30% because it's so strong, but it's a floral. It's also a little bit of it's a euphoric, so it can give you that, "Oh, pop me into a bliss bubble" kind of a feeling. But it's more if you can feel the energy of think of the infinity loop. It's harmonizing, it's balancing. You feel that infinity loop when you smell that? Or maybe a wave where it's balancing. Mm. Palmarosa is another one we're gonna work with. It's actually a grass. It has a sweetness. I always feel like Palmarosa is if we took lemongrass and geranium and they had a baby, it would smell like Palmarosa. Does anybody else get that? Yeah. So there is that balancing quality to it. It's a little bit, I guess what I would say is a sweet, lemony green. So it has some different qualities. Sweet, lemony green. So it has a little bit of lift. It has a little bit of that rosiness that has that balance, but there's an earthy, grassy quality to it too. So it's kind of like one of those super a chameleon essential oil, I would say, because it has a lot of different facets to it. So I really wanted to work with this one tonight. And then the last one we're going to work with tonight is black spruce. Again, this deeper sense of bringing me back to my earth roots, bringing me back to my core, my center. This also, for me, helps bring in the ancient ones. It helps bring in the wisdom of my ancestors. And every time I smell this, I'm right back in the forest, on the forest floor. All right. I can always feel even my voice come down to that earthy, resinous tone with black spruce. So I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for these oils tonight that we get to work with them. Anybody have any comments after smelling those oils, or are we all in this in the essential oil zone now? I feel like hmm. Yeah, Laura, more pleasant than geranium for me, right? Oh, good. Fran's in the zone. Good, good. All right, I'll go back to my share and we'll continue on. So we've got bergamot on Shanmen, and that's really going to be a very potent for emotional stability and insight. Um, I love to start a session with bergamot on Shanmen. Sometimes I'll do neroli on Shanmen too, just if there's a little bit more of a need for some more nurturing there. But just getting any excess energy off so we have sort of a level playing field. Bergamot on these points also helps to balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain. So regulating the nervous system to relax and calm the mind. It's helping the body go into a parasympathetic state of relaxation. So it addresses anxiety and stress, depression and insomnia, and even pain and addiction too. I've created affirmations for each one of these, so um, you'll be able to, have this opportunity to use the oil on the point and then repeat the affirmation sort of like a mantra as you sit there and hold it for 1 to 3 minutes. So the affirmation here is I allow myself to feel balanced, uplifted, and full of light. And I really feel like having an affirmation when you do an oil and a point gives it some power, it gives it some purpose, it gives it some intention as we hold that oil on the point and the energy frequency goes within. This is also a good oil and point for helping to control appetite and metabolism. um, Bergamot helps prevent cholesterol absorption. So cholesterol being a hormone gets affected during menopause because of it works with estrogen and progesterone. That's a whole other class, but just know that bergamot is helping with that absorption or non-absorption. Um, so we're affecting the HPA axis, which is our hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. And all of those HPA, hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal, are all part of that endocrine system and the energy centers. So we're reducing the corticosterone, which is one of the cortisol hormones, that it's keeping that under control. So the response to stress, it takes you out of fight and flight mode. So it balances the pineal and the pituitary glands to help with that hormone regulation, which also then helps with your sleep cycles. So win-win. We'll go on to Atlas cedarwood on the yin tong, this hall of impressions. And of course, this is our third eye chakra. And I just having this Atlas cedarwood on this point sort of just helps me to really stabilize, to find this calm sense of strength, like as you're enduring the storms of life, right? um, Atlas cedarwood is just good on so many levels. It's really precious to me, the cedar wood here in the Pacific Northwest, where I live, because the indigenous people literally their survival depended on the cedar tree. They used it to make their boats for fishing. They used the bark for shelter, for clothing, for medicine. The leaves, the branches, they would boil up um, as to support the immune system and the respiratory system. It just has so many um, uses. It's a lymphatic decongestant as well. So having the strength that gives this scaffolding to hold us up, to hold us together through this um, third eye chakra. Again, we're talking pituitary gland. We're talking about you know uh, hypothalamus. All of these um, endocrine organs right up here in the head, and how they manage all of the cascade of chemistry that comes out. So, giving some grounding and support to that is really beautiful. Um, the affirmation is I allow myself to feel calm, supported, and resourced. And we're coming up to heart five. anything that has to do with the heart. I love using ylang ylang. I actually met an ylang ylang tree on one of my trips to Hawaii, and she just the branches sort of sweep down in this beautiful dance in the breeze, and she is so elegant and really speaks to that calming, regulating, relaxing uh, way about her. So I always encourage people, because I am a gardener. I have a medicine garden here that I distill plants and make hydrosols throughout the year. And anytime you get a chance to meet the plant in person of the oils that you're working with, don't pass up that opportunity, because they really teach you a lot just by how they grow, where they grow, the structure of the plant. Just gives you so many clues into what is in that little 5 or 10 milliliter bottle that you carry around in your kits everywhere. So heart 5 is the penetrating the interior. Um, it's located. Okay, if you look at your hand where your wrist crease is on that outer edge, and if you come, that's heart 7, by the way. If you come down 1 inch below that, in between the bone and the tendon there, you'll kind of drop into this little pool. That is your heart 5. And if you can touch one on one hand and one on the other hand by just sort of crisscrossing your hands here. Um, this meridian goes through the heart, but it crosses that throat meridian, that throat chakra. And I love this point because it allows you to speak up for yourself, but through the heart space. I'm going to say that again. It allows you to speak up for yourself through your heart. So, not with anger, but with a heart centered approach to speaking up for yourself and speaking your truth. So important. Um, It is also a hormone regulator, as a circulatory balancer. We're passing through that thymus gland too. So we're working on um, more than just our heart here. We've got stimulating liver and the rest of the endocrine system, supporting the kidneys and adrenal function, regulating an overstimulated nervous system, and relaxing and harmonizing the mind. So we've got head, heart, the whole thing. This is just a beauty. If you don't do any points at all, do Shen Men and Heart 5. So um, the heart, this calming the spirit and regulating the heart chi also regulates the heart rhythm. And I have a cute little story. Well, I don't know if it's so cute because I made a perfume with ylang ylang one time because I absolutely adored it. And I think I had ylang ylang, sweet orange, and cardamom were the combination. And I put it in a roll on and I was using it on my wrists and just like enjoying it all day long. And mid afternoon, I'm like, why am I so dizzy? And because ylang ylang helps lower blood pressure, I had used it enough that my blood pressure was really low. And so I thought, okay, I love this, but maybe I could just love it in the mornings or something. But my body was saying, I love this, but let's let's just do it a couple times. It also encourages expression of thought and emotion. And sometimes when we're, going through a menopause moment, we don't necessarily, when we react to something, it doesn't like, that's not how I wanted to say it, but that's how I said it in the moment. So this encourages that expression of having, thought and emotion worked out through um, a nervous system that's a little more calm. I'm going to pop back over here because I think somebody wanted in. Okay. All right. Any questions so far?
I actually have one.
Yeah.
When you show the list of traits for each of these, is that on that point? Because some of them, you're like, I don't remember which one now. It mentioned vaginal dryness. So
Mhm.
if you put it on the point, it helps with vaginal dryness.
I would use a point that I would use would be CV6, which is halfway between the belly button and the top of the pelvic bone. You can do
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. There's another program that we get into all those juicy bits. No, it's all good. All right. We'll go back here. Okay. And then the affirmation for this one is I allow myself to feel a soothing balance as I speak my truth. And governing vessel. Okay, this is on the back, but if you go straight through, that is solar plexus. And governing vessel is one of my favorite things to do during winter time. If you hold your hands on your natural waist and you slide your thumbs back to your spine, you have met governing vessel 4. So, a good way to access this with the black spruce, I like to put, and I do my black spruce diluted 50% with a jojoba oil. I'll put a drop of it on the back of my hand and kind of rub it around, and then just place the back of my hand in the small of my back. That's a really good way. And then if I really want to do this, I'll put a drop on the palm of my other hand and sort of make this black spruce sandwich with the palm of my hand on my low belly, my solar plexus here by my belly button, just below it, and then on this GV4. And with black spruce, that is just it's sort of this really nice energy sandwich, for lack of a better word, because it's holding me, it's giving me stability, it's grounding me. Governing vessel 4 is called Destiny Gate. It is also known as the pilot light between the kidneys. This is a good way to light your pilot light. And if you want more, black spruce will give you that grounding and centering. If you used like silver fir has a little more lift to it, so it will take that energy more up and down the spine. So it kind of makes me feel more elongated and more upright. So experiment with the two just to see. I like black spruce as a starter, sort of like the gateway oil for this point, because black spruce is adaptogenic. So it is supporting the entire endocrine system and helping with low stamina, those kinds of things. It's an adrenal tonic. So I like it there between the kidneys because the adrenals sit right there on top of the kidneys. And it's also an immune enhancer that stimulates the thymus gland and regulates the pituitary gland. And it's also been known to help regulate estrogen and progesterone. So the little story I always like to tell, and I've told it in my book, Aromatherapy for Menopause Success, is that when, and this is what doctors don't tell you, when you go through menopause, your ovaries are not doing the job anymore. They're slowing down. Estrogen and progesterone levels are slowing down. And what's happening is the ovaries want to hand the baton off on this relay race through life. They're handing that baton off to the liver and the adrenal glands. And the liver is saying, I'm still working on the glasses of wine she had last Christmas. And the adrenal glands are like, she has been so stressed out all year long and all of her life. I got nothing left to give you. So this is why we have all these crazy symptoms in perimenopause, is because it's the handoff to these other glands in the endocrine system that have already been taxed out that can't handle the switch over. So, this is a great point to lift up that energy and be able to keep you moving forward and staying centered in life. So, the affirmation is I allow myself to feel stabilized, energized, and secure in my body. And then the final one to, or the final one to support that is another one of my favorites. I always say everyone is my favorite because when I'm using it, it totally is my favorite. And that's Palmarosa on stomach 36, which is called leg 3 miles in Chinese medicine. This one's an interesting one to locate. You have to find the bottom of your kneecap, your knee there, not your kneecaps, your knee. You can find that. And then you want to go down a finger width away from the tibia bone. So you can find that tibia bone, go a finger width away, and then just slide down 3 inches, and you'll find this little well. Again, these points often find these little pools here. This is a source point in Chinese medicine for earth energy. This gets us really grounded. And I like to stimulate this with some acupressure before I put the oil on it. When we place the oils, we're just barely using any pressure. We just want to make that oil make contact with that point, and then the energy of the oil does the rest. This is a deeply nourishing and energizing point that allows you to go the extra mile, thus the name 3 leg miles. Now, with Palmarosa on here, sometimes I use cardamom on here too, because cardamom, especially this time of year, is more warming. But Palmarosa is going to give assistance through to help the thyroid normalize. It's going to help with cortisol and adrenal function. It's good for anything in the reproductive and genitourinary system. So I've actually used Palmarosa in double aught gel caps with olive oil to reestablish the microbiome of the gut, and it's also a liver tonic. So, and I've used it in salves and vaginal suppositories that I make up for vaginitis, cystitis, all those kind of dysregulations that happen within the reproductive system. So, Palmarosa is a very, very good oil for female health. But on this point, it helps to really give us that um, extra mile that we can go. And when we are talking about stomach point, we're talking about how we digest our life experiences. And Palmarosa is really good for digestive issues. It's really good for candida overgrowth, those kinds of things as well. But giving you some grounding, some reinvigorating, and helping you digest your life better. The affirmation for this one is I allow myself to easily digest my life experiences and move forward in harmony with my own naturalness. So I'm going to stop my share for a minute and see if there's any questions about any of the points that we covered or any of the oils. We've got 5 oils and 5 points tonight that you can really, really go after and start using on, play with it. It's like maybe pick one oil and use it for a week and journal about it and say, okay, this is what I experienced with this oil and point. Or find 2 oils and make a combo out of it for a few days. Or take 3 and make what we call a protocol. I usually don't use more than 5 oils in a session with a client or even with myself, because I don't want to, it's like making a recipe. Oh, just a little more of this. Oh, how about if we add this? And pretty soon you've got something that's got 20 ingredients in it, and None of them has a voice really. They just kind of all get muddied up. So when I'm doing acuaromatherapy, I want to only be touching those points, not having any other fingers resting on the body, because I want that communication to be direct with the oil and the point with my body.
Mm.
I want to use a really light touch. I want to wait and let the oil say, oh, or my body say, oh, who's here? Who's knocking at the door? You know, should we let him in? Should we have a conversation? Oh, great. We're going to make a cup of tea now. Because as you use these more and more, the body starts creating this, what I call the Rolodex. And you can, you can do that point for the fifth time or the eighth time or the 10th time. And the body says, oh, hello, Palmarosa. So nice to see you today. And you get a result even faster, or, oh, Atlas Cedarwood, I have been waiting for you all day. So you're getting these interactions with your body where you're getting a an even bigger result. So it's okay. If everybody wants to go ahead and mute, unless you're not asking a question, that'd be
I have
great.
a question actually.
Uh-huh.
Could you just help with when I was trying to locate, was it heart five?
Uh-huh.
Like, so you're going like right in,
So
you're
do
going
a
down, but
karate chop.
you feel like a little, there's a little bit of a bony, like there's the bone that's here,
That's part
and you're
7.
going, yeah. So you're going like inferior to that.
Yep. Go
So
down.
okay. So then, am I going still past this next kind of bony area?
Yes, you're going an inch, well, a finger width. Your finger may be different in width than mine, a finger width down
Okay.
from the crease, and you're
Okay.
right in there between the bone. You can feel a little dip in there.
I
Relax
do.
your hands so you can feel the dip. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
little dip, just like an inch down, a 1 finger width. Yeah. And the great thing about doing it with oils is that if you're gonna put a drop of oil on your finger, you're gonna put it there and it's gonna spread out. And even if you think you're not on the right point, it's gonna cover an area and it's gonna get there.
Okay.
It's not as precise as like, oh no, I'm an acupuncture. And if I don't get it right on there with that needle, I'm gonna be in the wrong point. And then I just do it like this so I can get both of them at the same time.
Mm.
And then I can just set that gently in my lap and just relax into it. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Fran's asking, would Atlas Cedarwood be good for a castor oil pack? Yeah, I'd probably, I could, you could do that in a castor oil pack over the liver. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't recommend, like, for women who are still menstruating to do it like the week before or during their menstrual cycle. Like, kind of do it in those off 2 weeks. Although in perimenopause, it's hard to detect when you're going to have a cycle because it gets wonky. So, but yeah, Shelly says she's in a blissful world. Awesome. Me too. I think it was after we smelled all 5 of them. I'm like, where am I now? Yeah. Okay. Black spruce slide again. Let's see. Let me go back to my screen share and go back. There we go. Black spruce. Governing vessel 4. So just put your hands where your natural waist would be. I just kind of set it on the rim of my pelvis and then slide your thumbs back to the spine and you're right there in the governing vessel 4. And then just placing the drop of oil on the back of your hand and spreading it out and then just reach in there and place the back of your hand in your low back. That seems to be easiest for those who might be mechanically challenged, which depending on the day I might be. All right. So yeah, we're kind of in Q&A before I go on to invite you to what's next. Oh, Fran uses it every day. I know. I'm kind of a black spruce junkie too. Yeah, yeah.
I
Did anybody
haven't.
have a favorite or an oil or point that resonated with them tonight?
I I think I've used that Stomach 36 for foot pain when I was younger.
Mm.
It seems really familiar.
Well, gallbladder 34 is close to that, and it releases tension in the lower body.
Okay.
That would help with like plantar fasciitis and that kind of thing. I use sweet marjoram mostly when I use gallbladder 30, 34. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gallbladder 21 for releasing tension in the upper body here on the shoulders, and gallbladder 34 for lower body tension. Yeah. Yeah. And all of those points are in the acuaromatherapy card deck that I have available. So there are 49 points and oil combinations and a little guidebook that goes with it. And there's a button here on the bottom of the screen to click that and check it out. So
Very
um,
cool.
I'm going to go back to my share one more time because I want to share something really fun that I'm going to do with you or invite you to. All right. So, yeah, what are your next steps to take here in reclaiming your vibrancy? If you don't have a copy of the book, I'll put a link up in a minute to grab a copy of the book. There's always the Facebook group, Menopause Success. I'm also on Instagram at AcuAroma Enthusiasts. That's a fun group. That group is also on Facebook. We have a lot of conversation in there as well. And then if you are part of this platform that we're on tonight, Be Connected. I have an AcuAroma enthusiast group on there too. You can always go to my website and sign up for newsletters, and there's a hormone symptom mapper on there. If you want to grab that, if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll get the hormone symptom mapper. Some people that are new to acuaromatherapy, aside from purchasing the deck, will go through the 30-day acuaroma experience, and that can be purchased through the website in the shop. So those are the ways that you can stay in touch. And then in January, on January 13th, I have another free event. It's going to be a 4-day virtual retreat. So this is happening online every day and will be recorded so that if you can't be there, depending on time zones and everything, you'll get the replay. But for 4 days, we are going to help you set your compass to a true north. We're going to be doing some things with thriving through midlife and talking about different solutions, how to implement. We're going to be talking about sleep and nutrition and getting real clear on what you want during this time in your life and sharing some acupoints and oils along the way. So if you know somebody who you'd like to go on a virtual retreat with, you can invite them. And let's see, I'm going to pop up the link to be able to come to that. See if I did it right in here. 4-day virtual retreat. There we go. You can click on that, and that will take you to the landing page to be able to sign up for that and start getting the emails on that too. I think it's going to be really fun. I've been working really hard on the presentations and choosing the oils and things like that, in my creative zone. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And there will be worksheets and handouts and all kinds of good value for you. For those of you who did not see, everybody grab that link there. I'm going to take it down now. And the cool thing about on these replays, these links are still live, so you can still click them in the replay. Is that cool or what? All right. Let's see. Am I getting here? Yeah. for those of you who came in later, if you click the middle button here, you can get a free Menopause Success self-care calendar. If you click that link, and it'll pop up in another window for you. So that's your thank you for being here tonight. There we go. If anybody catches that. And then, does anybody want me to pop up the um, button to get the book? Does anybody need a link to the book? There we go. Grab a copy of the book. That takes you to Amazon. There's also, if you do a lot of acuaromatherapy, I have some cool, let me see if I've got a copy of one here. Let's see. Well, this is one. I have some little journals on there. One of the journals has the same cover as the card deck. This is another one. So you can actually journal what combinations you're doing with your oils and your points, and then the results that you're getting with them. So you can kind of keep track. And sometimes I do this when I'm working with clients too, just so I can keep track of, oh, I use this and this and this with somebody on this day. So it's a handy, it's just a 100-page journal, but I go back and refer to those a lot because it helps me keep track. And then if you have a discovery that you actually love, like, oh my gosh, I tried this on Yin Tong today and this is what happened, share that in the acuaromatherapy enthusiast group, because remember, this is a modality that is really rapidly growing, but it only grows when people start talking and using and reporting back, and we start creating more and more points. I mean, I've got 49 points in here, but I'm sure we could come up with 149 real quick just talking in this group. So, we want to always keep growing this modality, and you get to be part of that. You get to be part of history with acuaromatherapy, whether that's for women's health or for being a mom, raising kids or grandkids, or just any aspect of life you can enhance with acuaromatherapy. And that gets me really excited. So I hope to see you all in the virtual retreat, or at least tell somebody about it. Oh, Fran says she has the physical book and the ebook. Good. On the go, Fran. I love it. And you'll get a recording or the replay email after this event. And any parting words? Anybody have anything they want to share here at the end? Okay. Oh, the retreat link? Okay, I will pop that up one more time. I'm telling you, I have fun playing with these these buttons. Okay, 4-day virtual retreat. There we go. Join the 4-day Menopause Success virtual retreat. And did it pop up in a new window? Yay!
Angela,
Yes.
so I just wanted to say thank you because I
Oh,
find this fascinating. And I took, actually, you did a course through the School of Essentia in Ontario, Canada.
yes.
I did that, but I'm here tonight because I found that I was doing like webinar overload and not really like retaining a lot of stuff. And probably because I'm perimenopausal, I'm like not remembering a lot of
Brain
things.
fog. Yeah. Mhm.
So that's why I wanted to, get a little bit of a refresher with you.
Mhm.
And then I was also wondering, like, does the deck deliver to Canada?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I
I
have
don't know. I
shipped it
think
to
it was
Canada.
maybe just really expensive because everything is expensive, but
Yeah, because you have to pay the
um,
GST and all that stuff.
mhm.
Do you know anybody who lives in the States? This is coming up.
Well, I think I might try to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would really like to have that, and I guess I would love to, because I'm a certified aromatherapist and
Mhm.
my practice, I mean, I focus on women's mental health,
Mhm.
and I would love to be able to put these things into practice. Like, am I allowed to do that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
That's
So,
the cool thing about acuaromatherapy. And when I started with essential oils, I was really afraid of that. And then I took a Reiki certification class so I could like touch other parts of the body with permission legally. And then that's how I kind of got around it. I have a program. I'm going to pop up a different. I'm going to put up my link tree. This is where all my other courses are listed. I have an Acu Aroma Reiki certification program. Now, that is a program where you can learn how to use acuaromatherapy in your practice, but you get brandable materials that you can teach this. You get certified to teach this within that program. So, um,
yeah,
I
and like luckily, as in Canada, like our scope of practice, like we already have that sort of license to touch
good.
as part of our scope.
Hmm.
So that's a good thing.
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah, so like I've been doing like I have made up ear shenmen, like a little roller for my
Hmm.
ear.
Yes.
It's almost gone because I've been using it from the last time. But anyway, I just love all this, and so much of it speaks to me, especially the throat chakra stuff. Like I find because like my voice is becoming hoarse, my gland is very large. I have to get it watched by an endocrinologist.
Hmm.
And so much of it I think is just like not being able to I've just been silent for a very long time.
Hmm.
And I think it's all just kind of like coming to a head in a way.
There's
Um,
another point, Laura, that I'll share with you. If you go to the throat latch, so you see where the collarbones you
mm,
come here, and you go into the throat latch right there. That's CV22. It's called Heaven's Chimney.
mm,
And try using Roman chamomile diluted 10% to 10% chamomile.
okay.
Think of just the chamomile flower. It's got that beautiful little center and those delicate little white petals around the edges. And imagine that little Roman chamomile flower sitting right there. And imagine it helping that throat to relax and open up through this heaven's chimney and being able to speak your truth.
Mm,
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Love that. And I guess my only other thing I wanted to share was like that I love ylang ylang. I honestly
Mhm.
consider it like one of my best friends because it it stopped my like I was having terrifying palpitations with my anxiety,
Yes.
and that was the only thing that helped was the ylang ylang. It just stopped them, and I was able to like carry on with my life as it was at the time, but was really just like a savior for that. It was awesome.
Yeah, and heart 5 is such a good place to put that. Sometimes I'll do pericardium 6 too, but yeah, hopefully we'll get into some of these juicy little bits in the virtual retreat. We'll be talking about some nutrition, supplements, herbs, along with the essential oils. So I think it's going to be a really fun thing. It'd be fun, like if everybody came and brought a friend, and we could just really make a whole thing of it. So, all right, you ladies, I loved our time together. You asked some really beautiful questions, and I'm excited to see you start using these oils and points. Yay. All right, and I'm going to stop the recording so we have a recording to send out.